it lying directly contrary to such course.
See, because they didn't go that way. Okay, go ahead.
It says, neither could persons sail to America from the north by the way of the Tartary of ancient Scythia. It says that from its situation never was or can be a maritime power, and it is utterly impractical for any to come to America by sea from that quarter.
Yeah, up north, going through the Barren Straits. Go ahead.
Besides the remaining traces of their religious ceremonies and civil and martial customs are quite opposite to the like vestiges of the old Scythians. It says, several of the Indian nations assured use they crossed the Mississippi before they made a present northern settlements which connected with the former arguments, which sufficiently explode that weak opinion of American aborigines being lineal descendants from the Tatars and the ancient Scythians.
So they came from the south that crossed. Hold on, right. They came from the south, and then they migrated up north. So they came from South America and then migrated up north. They said they crossed the Mississippi to go up north. Okay? So that's what James Adair got documented in the records. And the scripture tell you they went through the horns of Africa. They didn't go through the Barren Straits. Now his name I got it written down there. Right?
It says Ventus
Jonas.
Ventus James.
No, Jonas Barren.
Vitus, V-I-T-U-S.
Ventus, well, I wrote it wrong. Ventus Jonas Barren.
Ventus Jonas Barren, 1681 to 1741. Right. A Russian explorer of the Danish descent. He wrecked on Barren Island with 9 of his men. Yeah,
so that's how he died. Ventus Jonas Barren. Now I'm gonna show you where they got that madness from. Okay? Out of this book, The Hope. Well, the brother gonna read it. Right? And at the bottom right there. Well, you should show them.
I showed him that one too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I showed him.
But that part right there, then the highlighted part down there. Those are Jesuits.
Hope of Israel, Manasseh ben Israel, page 126. As we believe, they went to the Western Indies by the Strait of Annan. So we think that out of the Tartary that they went to China by their famous wall in confessing of both. Our argument to prove that it is taken from the authority of the 2 Jesuits.
So the 2 Jesuits started that madness, okay? Started that madness. Go ahead.
These were the 2 celebrated Jesuits, Matteo Ricci, 1552 to 1610, and Alvaro Semedo, 1585 to 1658.
Yeah, so those 2 Jesuits started that madness, saying they went through the Barren Straits. The scriptures don't say that. The Ventus Jonas Barren, which is the Barren Straits, and show them that. So they'll see, showing them names down there too. So I know Jake like to Google. Right, and this another one, right? This is another one, Christopher
Columbus, and participant of the Jews in Spanish and Portuguese discovery by Dr. M. Caselinger. Page 14. And it says, Zacuto doubtless called Columbus's intention to the Navitiabus during the latter's residence in Salamanca. He brought a copy of it to that city according to a note in his own handwriting for 41 maravedis. It says, later in Spain he read with religious zeal to track on the Messiah, which was written by the proselyte Samuel Ibn Abbas of Morocco for the purpose of converting R. Isaac of Sergimonte. It had been translated into Spanish in 1339 and into Latin 100 years later. This book interested Columbus so much that he excerpted 3 whole chapters. He was also very fond of reading the Bible and the 4th book of Ezra.
They ain't gonna tell you that in school. Read that again.
He was also very fond of reading the Bible and the 4th book of Ezra, which is probably written by a Jew who lived outside of Palestine.
I ain't no problem. He was an Israelite. Okay?
According to his own exertion, the incentive that impelled him to plan his discoveries was not a love of science, but his interpretation of the prophecies of Isaiah.
Okay? So he was reading the book of Ezra. Okay? That's what Columbus was doing. He was reading the book of Ezra, right? And on this, when he came over here on the ship, right?
Page 90. Among the explorers' companions whose name have been come down to us, the complete list is lost. There were several men of Jewish stock. For example, Luis del Torres, a Jew who had accompanied a position under the governor of Murcia and who was baptized shortly before Columbus sailed. As he understood Hebrew, Chaldee, and some Arabic, Columbus employed him as an interpreter.
Oh, so did Columbus have Hebrew interpreters on his ship?
Yes.
Yep. He had Hebrew interpreters on his ship, and he was reading the 4th book of Ezra. That's what they call it, but it's really called the 2nd book of Ezra. What they talking about is Ezra in the Bible, right? I'm not talking about in the Apocrypha, right? You got Ezra that's in the regular Ezra that's in the Bible. Then you got Nehemiah, which is known as Ezra. That's the 2nd one, and then you got 1st Ezra, which is the 3rd one, right? And then you got 2nd Ezra, which is the 4th one. So he was reading the 4th book of Ezra, which he was reading 4th Ezra, 13th chapter, and the 40th verse. But in the Apocrypha that we got is the 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, and the 40th verse, when the Israelites came on this side. So Columbus was studying. Did he know about them on being on this side? Yeah. So he knew who he was finna encounter because they were speaking Hebrew. That's why he had interpreters, right, on this ship. Okay. Now I got another book. I got another. Read Obadiah 6. Obadiah 6.
You want me to read it now?
Yeah.
This is Obadiah, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out?
How are they searched out? His hidden things. How are they searched out? All them lies that he have put out there. How are they searched out? By the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. That's how they searched out. You know? That's how they searched out. Right? Let's hit on that.
How are his hid things sought up?
Okay. Let's hit on that. Good. Now I got this other one. Now this brother, whoever wanna get into it. I got this other one, right? And this gonna go into the Smithsonian Institute, but they got the records about over here, but then it's gonna give you the name of what the real name of Cristobal Colon, okay? How he stole that name, Christopher Columbus.
Far Out Adventures, the best of World Explorer magazine.
Right? First, we're going to read about the Smithsonian Institute.
All right, this is on page 114. Smithsonian Gate. Evidence that the startling truth of America's past is being suppressed by our most prestigious institute of learning.
What? America's past is being suppressed. What? About the Israelites.
That's by David Hatcher Childress.
Go ahead.
Most of us are familiar with the last scene in the popular Indiana Jones archaeological adventure film, Raiders of the Lost Ark, in which an important historical artifact, the Ark of the Covenant from the temple in Jerusalem, is locked in a crate and put in a giant warehouse, never to be seen again, thus ensuring that no history books will that no history books will have to be rewritten, and no history professor will have to revise the lecture that he has been given for the last 40 years. While the film was fiction, the scene in which an important ancient relic is buried in a warehouse is uncomfortably close to reality for many researchers. To those who investigate allegations of archaeological cover-ups, there are disturbing indications that the most important archaeological institute in the United States, the Smithsonian Institution, an independent federal agency, has been actively suppressing some of the most interesting and important archaeological discoveries made in the Americas.
Right.
The Vatican has been long accused of keeping artifacts and ancient books in their vast cellars without allowing the outside world access to them. These secret treasures, often of a controversial historical or religious nature, are allegedly suppressed by the Catholic Church because they might damage the church's credibility or perhaps cast their official text in doubt.
See that? So they got it hid, man. They playing with the history. They don't want you to know. But they playing with the history. You see? It will basically destroy what they teaching, man.
Yep.
So they playing with the history, man. You know? And they don't got the Ark of the Covenant because Jeremiah hid it. That's what happened to it. Matter of fact, give me 2 Maccabees 2 and 4. Yeah, and I'm gonna show you Jeremiah hid the covenant, the Ark of the Covenant, man.
All right, this 2 Maccabees 2 and 4. It was also contained in the same writing that the prophet, being warned of the Most High, commanded the tabernacle and the ark to go with him as he went forth into the mountain where Moses climbed up and saw the heritage of the Most High. And when Jeremiah came thither, he found an hollow cave wherein he laid the tabernacle and the ark and the altar of incense, and so stopped the door.
So stop the door. Shut it up.
Come.
It's hid. Nobody don't know where it's at until the Lord come back. Go ahead.
And some of those that followed him came to mark the way, but they could not find it. Which when Jeremiah perceived, he blamed them, saying, "As for that place, it shall be unknown until the time that the Most High gather his people again together and receive them unto mercy.
See that?
Then shall the Lord show them these things, and the glory of the Lord shall appear, and the cloud also, as it was showed unto Moses, and as when Solomon desired that the place might be honorably sanctified."
See that? So we ain't gonna get it back until we get in the kingdom.
Come.
But Esau don't got it. He don't got it, man. You see? That covenant, that Ark of the Covenant destroy him. He's not no Levite.
That's right.
That's right. You see? So he ain't got that. That's hid. Jeremiah hid that. We'll go back to the stick.
Sadly, there is overwhelming evidence that something very similar is happening with the Smithsonian Institution. The Smithsonian Institution was started in 1829 when an eccentric British millionaire by the name of James Smithson, who died and left $515,169 to create an institution for the increase and diffusion of knowledge among men. Unfortunately, there is evidence the Smithsonian has been more active in the suppression of knowledge rather than the diffusion of it for the last 100 years. The cover-up and alleged suppression of archaeological evidence began in late 1881 when John Wesley Powell, the geologist famous for exploring the Grand Canyon, appointed Cyrus Thomas as the director of the Eastern Mound Division of the Smithsonian Institution's Bureau of Ethnology.
All right, so you know, so we reading accounts, right, that they hide the history. You know what I'm saying? We reading accounts that they hiding the history. They don't want you to know, man. You know, it's destructive to them when you know the truth, man.
That's right.
Right. You know, it kills all alive. And Esau, that's breaking down his empire. But you don't want that to happen. You want to be able to deceive you. You know, they on the left hand side. But one more. This is about Columbus. This is why brothers always say what his real name is. Okay? This is where they got it from. Elder Tyler Duckboy always bring this out. Well, I ain't brought it out in a while, but he'll bring it out. You know. From the GMS main camp up top. He'll bring it out.
Alright. This is page 135, the Columbus Mystery. With this year's 500th anniversary of Columbus' first voyage to America, controversy raises as to Columbus' place in history and whether to honor him or damn him. But even more controversial is the question of his true identity. Amazing evidence exists that Columbus may actually have been a Spanish Jew who was forced to disguise his identity, and moreover that he possessed an ancient map of the Atlantic and already knew where he was going.
Exactly. He was studying the scriptures, man. They knew exactly where they was going. He was studying the scriptures, and he wasn't a so-called Jew. He was a gutter rat.
Come on.
Okay? Go ahead.
Despite the popular grade school depiction, there is a great deal of evidence that Columbus was not actually Italian, but a Spaniard who had assumed the identity of a young Italian wool merchant whom the Spaniard had once met and who had died at sea. Mm-hmm. By coincidence, the young Italian wool merchant from Genoa, Italian Genova, had the same name as himself, at least in translation, Cristobal Colon.
See? So that's Christopher Columbus' real name, Cristobal Colon. Okay? That's his real name, who you calling Christopher Columbus. Okay? And he was a so-called Jew. He was a Khazar. In his biblical nationality, he was an Edomite from the tribe of Amalekite. Okay?
Cristobal Colon, known to us as Columbus, was by some evidence a Spanish Jew. For this reason, he decided to conceal his identity. Also, he was in possession of several maps that showed the coast and islands of North and South America. Cristoforo Colombo, born in the latter half of 1451 to Dominic and Susanna Colombo in Genoa in the Liguria section of Italy, and the other of Cristobal Colon, born in mid-1460 to Prince Carlos Charles IV of Viana and Margarita Colon in the Jewish ghetto of Majorca, near the village of Genova, which is now a district of Palma, the principal city. After meeting the younger Italian wool merchant at sea, Cristobal Colon, the Spanish Jewish sea captain, decided to use the Italian identity to facilitate dealing with the Spanish court.
He called himself Christopher Columbus,
which was persecuting Jews at the time. It should be remembered that Spain had only been liberated from the Moors in early 1492.
Liberated from the Moors,
Come on.
which was Israel.